Hello everyone, this is livery model. So for today's video I have a model that I had in my collection for quite some time that was on my review to-do list, but I just never got around to do it. So without further ado, I'm finally gonna check that box, and here it is. So it's a Norton Rail Class 156 string pack made by Hornby, and the product code is R3772. And this one actually represents a single unit that was made, that was wrapped, completely wrapped, like the rail train was completely wrapped with a little bit of a homage to the Royal Air Force 100th birthday. So, if we look on the back, we have a brief history of it, so feel free to pause if you want to read it more, but there is no other interesting information, including what I feel is one of the more interesting bits about the model itself and not necessarily the prototype. So let me just open the box up. Oh, there you go, a white piece of cardboard. That's more like it. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is just a regular instruction for the Class 156. It is DCC ready, although this one that you're going to see here actually is already chipped. So one of the first thing you're going to see, it has non-standard coupling. You actually have to put one on top of the other, otherwise it's going to be very difficult and you can break these. This is completely untrue. The body removal is not done like this. You actually just have to remove the roof. Other than that, it's just a standard 8-pin DCC socket right here. Quite easy to install and very easy to lubricate. There is only 4 points. Now, I've already said that when you have an older tooling, to bring it a new livery actually modernize it a lot, and this is certainly the case right here. What we have here, although it says Hornby, is not a tooling that was originally made by Hornby. It was made by Lima. So when Hornby acquired Lima, they acquired all the tooling with it. So let me just take it out of the box here. If you see here, this box actually made out of cardboard. That's a choice that was made, if I understand correctly, for environmental reasons. However, I have to say that the cardboard boxes, they tend to break up with time, so you know, this is not something we're gonna throw away. It's a collectible item. Please, for the next one, just, you know, have a regular plastic box, because they last longer and the model are better protected. So right away, what you can see here, it does have 2 cars. Okay, only one of these is motorized. So if I take out our little scale here that we've used several times, take a wild guess which one is motorized. So this car here at 190 grams, or this one here at 333 grams, oh, 334 grams. Yep, as you can see, this one has been motorized and not the other one. Now, this is just a 2-car set. It's not the end of the world. There's no problem in pulling power, obviously. It only pulls 1 car. But before we talk about the mechanical part, let me just give you a quick close-up about them, because these, again, they're fairly old models. But what I wanted to say is that this is a perfect example where a modern livery actually gives a very good illusions and actually helps keeps the cost down. So they've really attempted with this livery to actually add more details on it. As you can see right here, you have the little push button to open what I assume would be to open the door here. I find it quite funny that we see like the App Store and the Google Play Store here for their apps. I'm not used to such modern rolling stock. So this handrail here, it's just molded in, but you know, really nice livery here. Looks like it was painted. One thing to note, recently Hornby have started using those wraps. There you go. I wouldn't blame too much the model here, because it's a certain amount of years old, and this rope should be clipped better than that. But I unclipped it to chip it, so maybe I'm the one to blame for that little gap that you saw. Anyway, what I was saying is that this is fully tempo printed. There's no wrap on this model, and as such, the handrails looks really crisp. The whole thing, the whole livery, if you look at it, it's very, 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 very crisp compared to those wraps where you see a whole bunch of little like grainy printing error or something. You don't see this on that. So I think that the livery looks fantastic on this, and this is actually the first reason why I bought it. So here's a nameplate right here, Spirit of the Royal Air Force. So this model, if we talk about mechanical parts, it did not have any lights inside. It does not have any lights here, no lights at all. And actually, if you look at all the bogies here, okay, none of these are motorized. And if I look at the powered car here, you realize that this one does have some pickups, but it's not motorized. And this one here is the only bogie that's motorized. So this set, this DMU, of all the axles that you see there, only 2 are motorized, and they are on this powered car here. Finally, to be able to get some good traction, it does have traction tires. I know some people are not a fan of it. For me, as long as it works and they're not dried up, that's fine. And if they are pretty easy to replace, I don't really mind them, because this is not something that you do very often. Now, one of the most common critics about this model was the lack of details on it. Obviously, I told you this is an older tooling. It was owned by Lima before Hornby acquired it. The livery on it makes it look like a very, very modern model, but this thing dates back from the 90s. So yeah, it has very, very, very little details, especially on the underbody here, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because it allows you to have this to have a more sturdy model, I would say. So about that powered bogie that I was mentioning before, originally on the Lima model, this power bogie was using what was called a ring fill motor. For people who knew about ring fill motor, they know that they do not they do not perform great. So they've actually modified this bogie to put a more modern can motor in there, and this is actually a 5-pole motor, and it's not half bad. So beside this, that's pretty much all there is to say about those models. They are, you know, pretty straightforward. What you see is what you get. Now let's just look at it on the tracks and see how it looks. See you right back. So I've put the Super Sprinter on the track right here. We're going to use a DC power supply for this. It's the standard Bachmann one, currently connected to the Vitoman Job 600X portable power station. The reason why we're using the DC power supply here is that the DCC chip that was put in there is actually not part of what you get when you purchase it. So I've actually unshipped it temporarily for this review. It is very easy to do. You just have to pop the pop the top, and you have a direct access to the decoder. So what I did is that I just put the blanking plate back in place, so you can see how it performed. So let me just start it up. As you will see, those newer can motor that they've put in instead of the ring-filled motors actually makes a big difference, and also it allows them to be geared more reasonably well than the super fast one you had to basically tune your power pack with the older ring-filled motors. So let me just start this. So that speed on the ring-filled motors, completely impossible unless you do a very good service and then you make it run for not too long before doing another service. I never serviced this one beside the oiling points that were mentioned in the instructions. So will it really crawl? Not that much. What you saw is the minimum speed that I can bring it to. Now this is at 50% speed. Still a reasonable speed. So one thing that disappoints me with this model, there are no interior lights, although there is interior details, and I'm pretty sure you didn't see it in a close-up. They are very basic seats, but still there is some details in there. Okay, let me reverse it for you. So there is no performance difference in each direction. It goes at the exact same pace, exact same speed. If I increase it to 50% again, you're just gonna see that. Mind you, on one of those DMUs, forward and reverse is pretty much the same things unless you know which car is powered. By the way, here, this is the one that is powered. Okay, so let me center this again, then we'll wrap this up. So what do I think about the Norton Rail Class 156 strain pack from Hornby in that particular livery? Well, this is an older model. They've actually modernized it a bit, but the only thing that they really modernized in this is the motor and the livery. Everything else is still pretty much like it was when the model was announced first by Lima. Now the livery is the main highlight of this. This is not railroad quality, if you want, like the Hornby railroad line quality. This is much better, and I think it's even above what you would see in the Railroad Plus category. For details, obviously, I don't think there's any separately fitted parts at all, except maybe, I'm saying maybe, that exhaust that you see here. So you know, it kind of have a conflicting personality, whereas it is very advanced in terms of livery and very basic in terms of details. If that can help bring the cost down, I'm all for it. This thing, when it was brand new, the MSRP for it was 122 pounds, and that was back in 2019, if memory serves me correctly. 122 pounds back then. It wasn't that bad, actually. Right now, with today's prices, you'd be lucky to find anything like this, I would say under 180 pounds. Now, because I'm outside of Great Britain, I did not pay nearly that much, as I already mentioned. We do not have the same kind of tax structure that what you have over there. So in Canada here, this unit actually costed me around 100 pounds, which is you know, around $150 Canadian, or around $130 US. In the exchange way back when I originally acquired it. So the price was okay for what it is. There may be something to learn here. Manufacturers, if you want to have new people in the hobby, if you want to have a future with your hobby, make models more affordable. And this is a way you can do it. Just take an older model and put a new livery on it, modernize the mechanics on it. It's going to cost you way less than to have an all new tooling, and still allow people to get a certain amount of you know, newer models in their collection, as opposed to just getting used. And even used prices now, they've actually increased a lot. I saw this unit, as of filming this video, used on eBay for around 155 pounds, which is more than what it was worth when it was new. So that's my 2 cents on it. Now, about the model itself, I like the fact that it has the interior. The model is very sturdy because it has very few details, but the fact that it lacks lights inside for DMU, that's really is a bummer. I'll show you what I did. So what you see here is a light strip with the little batteries here. Okay, so this is something that's made by Rapido. Originally it was glued in, but looks like the glue dried off with time. And what you see here is something to activate it with a magnetic stick. Now, I was showing you this little crease in the close-up. That's the end result of this, but I mean, you can still remedy this somehow. But I mean, what's the price of a couple of LEDs and maybe 2 wires to no, it's nothing. So I mean, it could have been lighted. If it was lighted, I would give it like 15 thumbs up, because I mean, it would have been fantastic value. But you know, because of that limitation, it really changed a lot the way it looks when it runs. And if you guys know my 3 feet rules, and it's actually not mine, but a lot of people's 3 feet rule, sorry. If it looks good from 3 feet apart, it's fine. This, if there were lights and you could see the inside of it, it would look so much better. And in fact, if I was to rerun it again, but turning on those lights, you see it's a complete different thing. But this is a model review of what you have in front of you and what you can expect out of the box, so I cannot turn them on just for fun. Actually, I can, but on my own time. So I hope that you like this. I hope it's something that you have enjoyed. What do you think about this? It is, from what I can see, it's something that's very polarizing. Some people really like these. Some people think that they are really not good because they don't reflect what we can do today. Put it in the comments, or if you have any other version of the Class 156 by Hornby and you have an opinion on it, leave it in the comments also. This is one of very many that were pulled from the factories upon the many years that this model was produced. So on that note, this was Leeway Model. I hope everyone have a very good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Leeway Model out.